Hi and welcome to Tabletop Gaming. My name is Charlie and today I'm super excited because we're taking a look at the Lonely Undead. Now I've received this as a prototype copy ahead of the Kickstarter which has launched, so you should go and check that out. But I thought we'd take a look at maybe what some of the components are, what the main themes of the game are, just to give you an idea if it's something that you might be interested in. Now I will begin by saying I've also spoken to Shelby, the designer of this game, and the one-man band that is Dead Lemon Games, the creator of this. That is an interview that should be up by the time that you watch this, so you can go check that out on our YouTube channel too. I will pop the link here or here, depending on which side it comes out, for you to go and check that out. So let's begin with what is the Lonely Undead? What is it? Why are we there? Now, you are looking at this and thinking, it's another zombie game. It's fine. We're going to be moving around and then we're going to be shooting the zombie and then we're going to be trying to escape and not get eaten and all sorts of things. No, this is where we stop. No, it is not. This is a really nice twist on the genre. In essence, you're a zombie. So first of all, we're flipping it up straight away. You are playing as the zombie. While you are playing as the zombie, you are lonely. Hence, Lonely Undead. And you desperately want to make friends and you can't understand why it is that the people around you aren't being your friends or aren't agreeing to be your friends or just aren't being nice to you. Ultimately, it's because you're a zombie. So how do you make friends? Well, as a zombie, you only know one way to make friends, and that is to bite people and infect them too, so you've got a lovely little zombie family going on. Sounds great. What's nice about that is that it is very different to the games that come before it. One thing that Shelby mentioned is it's a very crowded market. It is! I can call to mind like 5 different zombie games straight away, but I cannot think of one where it's about lonely zombies trying to make friends, and I think that's adorable in itself. What this game is a game for 1 to 4 players that's being described as an adventure crawler. So it's kind of like a crawler game where you're going to be trying to infect as many people as you can so that you have as many friends. Now, in an aside, this, as I say, is a prototype copy, which means Shelby has popped it together directly for us, and there are some components that are going to change by the time they get to you. Some artwork may be different, some components may be on thicker card, things like that, and this box as well will be printed specifically for it. So with that, bear in mind that these may change and these are early on copies. However, one thing I will say is this is one of the nicest put together handmade prototypes I've received. It's really lovingly created and I think that's telling from the designer that they've put a lot of heart and soul into this game. So with that, let's take a look inside, let's see what sort of things you might get up to and give you an idea of how it might play. And boom! We are all set up. So, I've picked my character, we have Bertha, who I'm going to be trying to gain some friends with. Now, the board itself, you will see, has all of these locations on that obviously we're going to be trying to manoeuvre around and get. However, the nice part about this is no space is wasted because on the back we also have a grid in which we can lay our own tiles if we want to. So we're also given these sorts of cards or tokens that we can pop down in whatever format we like to build a whole new version for ourselves. And that's something that's key throughout this game, is that there are so many different ways to play it. You can build up your knowledge from it. So you can start off playing the standard game, you could then move to a solo game, you could play it competitively, you can flip it over, you can create your own town. It's a really fun way of making sure that you're always being able to do something new with your game. Now, of course, this is not a review, this is just an overview so you can get an idea of what's inside. And with that, I will say there is a fair amount inside. There's a lot to look at, a lot to see, and a lot that's been created to sort of give you different options and different ways to play. For example, we may attempt to infect people from the old dude, to a dad, to the mayor, to a rookie. But of course those guys will fight back, so it's not as easy as just leaping at someone and they are now your friend. They are going to fight back and it's going to be up to you to hopefully try and convert up to 7. That's your win condition in a multiplayer game, is converting 7 of your friends. Playing is made up of 2 phases, so of course the first is yours. What are your player actions, what is it that you're going to do? And then the second is the town phase, where everything moves and fights back, one would say. One thing you really have to look out for in this game is the enemy of all zombies, which is dogs. So they will activate in the town phase and they can cause you damage. Now, the nice thing about this, I've talked about it being a bit of a different kind of zombie game, but it's really a more cartoon style of the genre itself. So you may think of zombie games and think of sort of horror and gore. This is not designed to be that. We acknowledge that it's that sort of genre by then saying, right, okay, what's your health like? How do you lose health in those instances? Well, you lose a limb. So with that, you have little limbs which you will lose as you go through if you sustain damage, which is it's a nice and interesting way to have a health bar for an undead, because otherwise how do you do it? You can't say they're alive, because they're not. again, it's a nice way of making sure that this is quite a cartoony thing. It's not gory, there's no blood, there's nothing to worry about. It's just a nice take on the genre that means that you get your zombie games without the terror. It also means it's suitable for the age group that it's given, which is 14 plus. One thing to also keep an eye out for is that within the options for your pledges, if you're buying this on Kickstarter, you can also contact and see if your dog can be put into the game, which is the option for cute little artwork as well. To play the game, you've got a ton of things that you might do on your phase. You might move, you might draw an aid card, you might equip a card, you might do a sound check, which starts an engagement, you might attack someone who's living, you might bite a living person, all of these things that you can do, and it gives you lots of choices within the game to play very differently to your fellow teammates, for example. Of course, because that sounds like a lot, there are sort of cheat sheets that you can read through so that you know each turn what it is you're going to do, and there are plenty of those included. Cards themselves offer even more options. For example, when you go to attack the living, you'll draw a living card and find out what it is that you'll be doing next. When you want to add some aid onto your card, so if you look, for example, at the top, we have equipped aid, so we can pick up some quite exciting bits from there. We'll draw one of the aid cards, and that will give us options and additional bonuses sometimes that we can make use of. Finally, you can draw a reaction card, which gives you just a little bit more too, if you can see that. Although not to be forgotten as well, when you draw a death toll, you get a card when you enter that space that gives you some kind of punishment usually that you'll need to keep an eye out for too. So that's a very, very brief overview to give you an idea of just what's inside the box, what it is that you'll find, and actions that you might be taking along the way. You might be biting, you might be attacking, you might be moving, you might be drawing new cards, you might be trying to power yourself up with those aid cards. You don't know what's going to happen when you get to each round, and that's what makes it quite an exciting one to take a look at. Ultimately, this is a game of decisions. Are you going to pick this card? Are you going to move here? Are you going to make friends with that person? Are you going to even play in this mode? Are you going to play solo? Are you going to play cooperative? Are you going to create a new map on the other side? All of these decisions are down to you, and it means that you can build up your game to suit you as you prefer. Don't forget the Kickstarter is available now, so head on over. I will pop the link in the description for you to take a look and make your mind up on and see what it is that you think about it. Don't forget as well, we spoke to the designer about his process, about where this all came from, and what the decisions, why the decisions were made that have been made. And it's a really lovely chat, so I hope you enjoy that too. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Charlie with Tabletop Gaming, and you can find us at tabletopgaming.co.uk. If you enjoyed this video or any of our others, please do hit like and subscribe, and I hope you have enjoyed. Have a great day. Thank you.